This is Nancy from Nancy's Garden Soap Co. and I'm doing the prep work for honey blossom soap with a honeycomb look. This is the oils that I'm melting, or if I can get it in screen. And I melted the coconut oil with the palm oil and then added the chunk of cocoa butter and letting that sit while I measure out my distilled water, which is here. Right there. There's the distilled water, 16-ish, actually 17 ounces. I took a little bit out of that water to put into something, this container right here, and this is going to have my honey powder going into it. Once the cocoa butter melts, the heat's off right now. Once it's melted, I'll add the olive and the castor oil to it. And now I'm going to measure out my lye. 8.44 ounces. I like to, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know that I like to take the amount that I need and also look at it not just in ounces but also in grams. So I'm at 7.5. There's 8.45 and 8.5 now. So now we convert it and it's 241 grams and I need 239 grams. So I am 2 grams off. So that'll have to do. That's going to go into here. All right, well, I've measured out the lye, and I've got some other additives that I need to do in order to make the soap. One of them is adding tussah silk. Now, somebody asked me, how do you know how much to add, how much tussah silk to add? This is, this when I bought it was an ounce of tussah silk, and I don't know what the bag actually weighs, but it can't be much. And I still have 1.1 ounces left, even though I've used it probably 10 or more times. So you don't really, it doesn't really weigh anything, so it's hard to say how much to use. I'm working with 60 ounces of oil, and I'm going to take out a little section about like that. So if you were to bunch that up, it's like about a medium-sized cotton ball size, and I'll take it and stretch it out a little bit. Here's the water, and I'll spread it out a little bit and put it into the water like that. And I also need to add a couple teaspoons of sea salt. So I have my sea salt here, and it's about 1. And some people like to use sodium lactate. I like to use sea salt. It just seems a little bit more natural to me than sodium lactate. All right, and I also need, while that's sitting for a little bit, I have a little bit of the distilled water here, and I'm going to be adding honey powder to it because I'm making a honey soap tonight. This is the cactus honey powder that I'll be using, and you kind of have to learn how much you want to use. I have some of the waters in there, and this I'm planning on using 2 tablespoons worth, más o menos. So adding that in to let that dissolve. I'll swirl it around a little bit. This is what it looks like. If it doesn't dissolve completely, I will heat it up so that it is completely dissolved before I add it to my soap. So it's just a matter of seeing how it does before it's time to add it at trace. Okay, next thing. I did the tussah silk, I added the salt. I need to get a decent spoon to work with for mixing the lye up into the salt water, the tussah. Let's see if I can switch positions a little bit. I don't know if this stuff's interesting to any of you, but it's some of the behind the scenes stuff people always add. Oh, I'm adding the lye and I'm adding this and that. Well, how do you don't get to see people mixing it that often. Looks like my tussah silk is sticking. So we're going to add the lye to the water. Always put the lye in the water and not the other way around. And I try not to breathe. I don't see any fumes yet. Yeah, now I do. I don't know. You really can't see them when it looks like water vapor coming up. You can kind of see it up here a little bit. Up by the light. See how it's fuzzy? Get to see my dirty light. Alright. It's really not that bad, but hey. All right, stirring, and now I'm going to take a break while I let this cool and think about what else I have to do, and I'll come back in a little bit and finish up the prep work, okay? All right, my lye water has cooled down significantly back there, and I need to show you my mold that I've set up, and also get out the fragrance oil. So I need 2.81 ounces of fragrance oil, and I'll be pouring that into here. This one's Honey Blossom, and we need 2.81. Stuff smells great. 2.55, 2.6, 2.7, 2.75, and 2.8. Good enough. Okay, so I have the fragrance oil set out. I'm still melting my oils a little bit because the cocoa butter is being stubborn. This is, oh, keep popping these babies. All right, this is my bubble wrapped lined soap mold. Can't talk, sorry. Getting late. Anyway, I put bubble wrap there. It's a honey fragrance soap, so the bubble wrap will give it a honeycomb look. And I think that's most of everything I need to do for prep work. I've got my lye, I've got my oils, fragrance oil. The honey is mixed up, and let's see how that's looking. Here's the powdered honey right there. So that might need a little bit of stirring. That's going to go in at trace, and I'm going to make my soap in a little bit, but that'll be a separate video. So I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, write them down below, and feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks. Talk to you later.